The theme of this report is one not frequently spoken of. It is a story of heroism by members of the Nigeria Police Force who put their lives on the line to rescue innocent civilians under attack. The kidnapping of members of the Al-Qadria family is one which gained prominence due to the subplots. A father and his 6 daughters kidnapped, the outrageous ransom demanded, the killing of one of the daughters, Nabiha, when the ransom could not be paid, a crowdfunding by Nigerians to facilitate the payment of ransom, and the subsequent release and controversies surrounding the roles played by security agencies. But in these plots is uncelebrated gallantry shown by the first responders when the family made that distress call that particular night when they were under attack. The father of the girls, Mansour Al-Qadria, tells us about his call for rescue while under attack.
When I noticed my brother was driving in, I was happy. He was the one that actually led the police to my community. So when I sighted this guy, I said, "Kai, this guy." As at that time, they had already positioned themselves again. When they said that they were coming, they didn't know who was coming, but they saw the police light on. So they knew quite all right, these guys have come for them. So it was then they started to exchange bullets. And I saw my brother that he wanted to drive further. So he didn't know that they were close to that house. So the next thing he did was for him to reverse back. The reverse that he did, I believe they must have shot him. So the police vehicle too got stopped. So his reverse could not go back. So they were all exchanging with themselves. So after a few minutes, both of them stopped. I think the police stopped. They can't advance further. And I said, Kai, they must have injured my brother or injured the police. For the police vehicle not to advance further.
Now, this signboard perforated by bullets tells us about the exchange of gunfire which did take place on that night when Nadiha, her father, and 5 of her sisters were abducted by the bandits. Arise News visited the Muhammadu Buhari Hospital where ASP Mohammed Daudu and Inspector Audu Ocheme, 2 officers short while responding to that distress call, are recuperating.
Yes, it was on the 2nd of January 2024. I was on patrol. My team had twice a body division, a surveillance body team. So Inspector of Police, who is at the moment called on the phone that we should come to station, that there's issue. I drove down to the office. I reached the office. I saw him with one civilian like that. He said we should join his car. I said, what is the problem? He said there's issue at Zuma 1. That's the body there. So I arranged my men, me and 3 others. We start going to that place. When reaching there, before we understand, instead for him to say, we don't reach, or he did not tell us, we just enter between them. What I'm to hear is fire, going both back and front. That's how it happens. The man that took us to that place was in our front. They first fire on him, his car. But what I only know, I don't know either he was killed there. When I was admitted at the General Hospital here, body. In the morning, I saw the dead body. Behind was there. They say it's the man that drove to that place. And he was killed by the bandit.
The doctor on duty that night speaks about the state in which the officers were brought in.
For the team leader, that's ASP Audu Mohammed, is particularly recovered much more than we actually expected, and our team of surgeons, the orthopedic and general surgeons, have attended. They made an initial treatment for them, and subsequently they will soon be scheduling another surgery for him in particular. While Inspector Ochime Audu would also is expected to be discharged soon because he's fully recovered. Almost, I can say now he's almost at 70% recovery. Yes, we unfortunately lost Sergeant Ezekiel Samuel, who was brought in dead because we confirmed him dead at the hospital.
The authorities are assuring the public and personnel that officers wounded in the line of duty will be adequately taken care of.
Contrary to some speculations that police did not respond, did not do that, we actually want to say and clearly hear that police responded on time. That we even lost an officer, one Ezekiel Emmanuel, sergeant, and two of our men, led by the ASP Audu Mohammed was injured, and the other guy too was injured. So we are very sure that we will continue to do what we should. This will not deter us. It's one of the hazards of the job we always experience. The IGP has directed the doctor of Nigeria Police Medical Service, particularly Muhammadu Buhari Hospital here in Garki, to take care of them, and that's why they are here. We have seen them. They are recuperating, they are responding to treatment. Next things will be done. Very soon they are going to be on their feet to continue the job. Because they have experienced this won't deter them, and will not deter any of our men and officers on the front. The morale is high, the agility is there for us to do what is needful. And you agree with me that in the recent time we have achieved a lot of rescues, have been done, arrests have been made.
While the officers recuperate, a member of the team, Sergeant Ezekiel Emmanuel, is not so lucky. He was shot at the scene and confirmed dead at the hospital. He paid the supreme price. Also to Abdel Fattah Al-Qadria, who answered the distress call of his brother, contacted the police and led them to the Al-Qadria's residence, but sadly also died in the ambush. To these fallen heroes and others who have lost their lives providing help in this war against insecurity, we say, may their souls rest in peace. Ferdinand Durocher, Arise News.
May their souls indeed rest in peace for the gallantry, great gallantry displayed by those officers of the Nigeria Police. Well, I have here in the studios Dr. Habila Joshak, is a former Deputy Inspector General of Police and an expert in security and strategic studies. He's here to look at the security challenges and how security agencies can bring the situation under control. Very warm welcome, Doctor, for joining us on Newsnight. That was a great display of courage there, where most Nigerians would say, oh, the police, they don't respond in good time and the rest. And here was a police assistant superintendent of police and his team coming under fire because of the, extraneous situations. Yes. How do you describe, policing in the country going after bandits and terrorists?
It's been a very tough issue for the police, because some of the bureaucracy, some of the things that they are expected to do, sometimes they do not have the wherewithal to be able to respond. Take, for example, they responded swiftly, but they got attacked. And that could be, prevented if we had an armored plated vehicles that is at their disposal.
Yeah, those usually the soft body vehicles that are used and the rest. And no backup, no walkie-talkie and the rest. No walkie-talkie. To say that we're under attack here, Mayday, Mayday.
I must be frank that I think it's high time we started, saying what it is and that to put it as they are. I think the government, we have the hope that this government will look at this and do quite a lot of these things, supply some of these things that are required. The inadequacy, the lack of the equipment is a very big hindrance for the success of conduct of operation in order to reduce crime in its barest minimum in Nigeria is nothing to write home about.
Nothing indeed to write home about, particularly when you see officers and men scrambling into pickups to go for operational duties and the rest without security gadgets. How tough can that really be, operating blindly to track criminals?
The law is that you must obey before complaint. And of course, as a police officer that has sworn to defend and protect the citizen and their properties, you do not have a choice to respond. But the equipment that is at the disposal of the police as it is now is nothing to talk about, because
to write home
about. It's not. It's exposing them to quite
a lot of dangers.
So I think that this government must have had that, and we have very, very polished officers that have learned the job, that have also been at the helm of affairs. Those of them at the Police Service Commission are very, very excellent individuals, and I believe they know exactly what should be given to the police for them to be able to work well, to be able to respond.
Well, you have the Police Service Commission, looking at issues of promotions, discipline, and the rest, from supers up.
Yes.
Then you have the Nigeria Police Trust Fund.
Yes.
Before your retirement, I'm sure that fund came into existence.
Yes, it did.
How has that fund been utilized? Because it is, it is really bad to hear that the police don't even have helicopters, or when they have a helicopter, it's only one or two, just to pick the big man from here if he's going to Jos or Taraba, maybe.
Exactly. We used to, when we were out there, we had some of the serviceable helicopters.
The police wing.
But today, the air wing. But
the
today,
air wing, yeah.
I learned they're all down. We can just have 1, 2 that is working. And it's a very big issues. And that's why we need to address logistics. We need to address welfare. What is welfare? There are a lot of them. They don't reside here. They can't afford to pay accommodation here. And there are no barracks.
I know the present DIG operations. He lives in Nasarawa. I cannot afford the house in Abuja.
He does. He worked with me. I didn't want to say that, but that's true. So you can see that it is unfortunate. But I think that this government, from what we see and from the body language, I think they should be able to address this. Because if this is not addressed, then I don't know where we move to. There are a lot of challenges, but ours is to do and not to ask why. And so they won't have that guts to begin to confront the government frontally, because the commissioner, the chairman, Police Service Commission, is one person that knows all about the police. And of course, he interacts with those of us that are retired, and we also give
But how has that helped, to bolster the efficiency of the police, the mobility of the police, intelligence gathering, and what have you, interagencies collaboration? That's what the public, are saying and are looking at.
I think that he has made a lot of proposals, I know, but I think that the government should quickly look at that so that we can address this issue. But I can assure you that we have quite very, 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 very well-trained police officers that could lead others.
There is no doubt about that, but when the force is not properly motivated, like we just found out, it must be known and emphasized so that the public knows what the Nigerian military, the security agencies are dealing with in this country. Lack of political will, two, enablement for them to carry out their duties, where you have officers and men or operational monies for 2 months has not been paid to the Nigerian military.
No.
I can imagine what the police is suffering.
Yeah, I haven't.
So how do you fuel the vehicles and carry out your operations and the rest?
And that is
from their pockets?
They don't. There's no capacity. There isn't. It does appear as if nothing at all. The equipment and the personnel do not have what it takes, wherewithal, to frontally, approach and confront criminals. A lot of them there are no barracks. If there are barracks, there are just few barracks that nothing
built by the colonialists.
By the colonialists. And so they are not even residing in Abuja. A lot of them will go at the periphery to be able to get an accommodation that they will be able to pay. And we have to say it as it is, and that's the truth.
What a shame. We hope that the authorities will continue to, step up the game so that the security agencies like the police, which is the lead security agency, can, be at the forefront in curtailing banditry, terrorism, and kidnappings. Thanks so very much, Dr. Habila Joshak, retired Deputy Inspector General of Police and Security and Strategic Studies expert, for coming on News.
Thank you.